crap, I screwed the video up. I said I was gonna list 6, but I'm only listing 5. Good day, guys. So if you guys have noticed this week, I've been behind on my video stuff a little bit. So this week I want to try to make a video on, and every car guy thinks about this, you know, you lay down in bed, you start daydreaming and all that kind of stuff, and you think, man, what are just a few obtainable cars that I'd like to own in my lifetime, you know, or what's left of it, you know what I mean? So I always think about that, and I think we're going to start. I've compiled 6 of them, with most of them being obtainable. One probably never going to happen just because they've went to the sky on value and all that kind of stuff. But let's get started. My number 1, and I happen to have one sitting right here behind me, but it's not the exact one, you know, is I've always been a fan of the 70 through 72 Cheyenne pickups, and I've owned several of them. This is what the logo on my channel is made of, because I had one, a 72 Cheyenne, and you'll see it in previous videos. It wasn't exactly the one, but it was darn close. And that truck, when I got it, we had talked about, is what led me to want to start the channel. And then I immediately bought a Blazer after that, you know, and that really got things rolling. So that all led up to where we're here today. But I like that egg crate style grill. This one's growing on me, by the way. Cheyenne's got the trim on the side. It's more of a loaded, it's got the kind of more loaded deluxe interior and all that kind of stuff. Of course a big block would be nice, but I don't really care at this point. And but yeah, orange and white, yellow and white, copper and white, you know, any black and red would be ideal, but with the rally wheels on it, lowered down and stuff, and short bed, you know, it doesn't have to be a short bed, but it could be a long bed and it'll be perfectly fine with me. But that's the kind of truck, like, I don't know, of all the pickups I've ever had, those are my favorite, and I just keep circling around. I've owned several, and I keep coming back to this body style here. And you're probably thinking, why not this one? Well, this one could be the one. It's just, it needs a different cab. The cab's no good. It needs a lot of work. It will run and drive though. If the brakes worked, we could head down the road with it today. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know where that one's gonna go. But, and our number 2, which we'll go back to when I was in high school, you know, 17, 18, 16, you know, back when we used to cruise Memorial, is, and this car's from that era, is the 98 through 2002 Trans Am WS6, and specifically the 2002 model, because I believe there's a certain run of them that had the LS6 motor, like the Z06, the 01 through 04 Z06. They had those motors, and of course 6-speed, doesn't matter what color it is, but a nice low mileage, clean stock, not modified 2002 Trans Am is, man, I remember getting to drive those when they were brand new. Friends had them. They're, like I said, they're Cruise Memorial. I got to drive a few of them. I got to race people. You know, if you guys, I've always been decent at, you know, slamming gears in cars and street racing and stuff back in the day. So like, I get to drive a few of the guys' cars to race and everything. And I was super thankful to do that. And I fell in love with those, you know. And we had the Fox Body Mustangs, the LT1 93 through 97 Camaros, the 99 through 04 cars like this, and then the Terminator came out. The Terminator's probably, in my opinion, probably one of the baddest cars they made of that time. But those LS1 Camaro and Firebirds are pretty fast, especially when they had some heads, cam, and all that. I don't want any of that. I just want a good factory clean driving car. But yeah, that's my number 2. I've always wanted one. I've had several opportunities to get them, but it just wasn't aligned with what I wanted to do at the moment, you know. And I'm keeping my eye out, you know, and I'm getting to a position where if I wanted another one, I just find the right one, I'd get it, you know. So that's pretty obtainable at this point. So yeah, I love those cars. I think they look good. Now, I will say they aren't as built as well as Mustangs, and that's a lot coming from a GM guy like myself. But these cars, they don't make the power. except for the Terminator, but they're solid, man. They don't rattle, they don't bang. Very, very good cars. So, and then my number 3 would be of the SUV family, 4-wheel drive, and I've got a Blazer, but I have to say the most happiest I've ever been in driving a vehicle daily was I had a 1990 Ford Bronco, and it was black, gray interior and everything. It was a super sweet rig. But I first noticed those, actually, if you think about back in like 4th grade, when I was in 4th grade, this would be like 94-ish or whatever, the O.J. Simpson deal, man. That O.J. Bronco, like when I first saw that, I always had that in my head. I was like, I like that, you know? So fast forward to when I started driving, and then of course when I graduated high school, I had the opportunity to get a Ford Bronco, and that was the happiest I ever been. It had 32s like this rig's got on it. I drove that thing everywhere, man, and it ran good. So I would like to get another one. I like the 87 through 90 the best because they got that, what do they call that, bull nose? No, the brick nose, I believe. Yeah, they got the flat nose on them, but I also like the OJ style one, which was the 91 to 96. So any of those, just a good factory original that runs. I'm not really as interested in dragging one of those out of the woods, because once you find one of those that's been sitting for 10, 15 years, the electronics stuff is just going to be a nightmare. So yeah, that style of Bronco, the Eddie Bauer ones are really nice. They made those a little bit in the later years. They probably made some 88 or 89 models. But I have to say that's my number 3 pick, and that was the happiest I've ever been of all the cars. The best daily driver I've ever had. Like I said, I got 13 to 15 miles a gallon, and for a 19, 20-year-old guy going to the lake and running around and bar hopping and doing all that kind of stuff, I absolutely loved it. The top came off. I even took the doors off of it and drove it for a full summer when I had a roommate. So yeah, I'd have to say that was a very, very good time in my life. So yeah, that's my number 3 pick. And then my number 4 pick is, and you guys, some people that know me know that I love these things, is the 70 through 72 Chevelle. Whether it be a Malibu or SS, always, like everybody else, I wanted an LS6 or an LS5 or an L78, 4-speed 410s, you know, manual steering, no power brakes, no AC, just like a street race kind of hot rod, you know, with the stripes and the cow hood and all that stuff. While I'd still love to find a Survivor style car, that would just be right on. But also I like the 71, 72, like just a good Malibu that's in decent shape. Like I found one the other day in California. It was gold with a vinyl top and stuff. Bench seat, you know, column shift, 350. That would have been just fine. And I plan on getting another one of those at some point. I don't want a super, super nice one. I just want something of driver quality, like kind of like what I have, you know. But yeah, and I also, you know, I have a 69. I've had it, gosh, almost 15 years now, and you guys will see it in my previous videos and everything. I've had several motors in that. I've done all kinds of racing with it. You know, nothing to speak of like what people are doing now racing, but I've participated. I've got to have a lot of fun, meet good people. And that car has served as a daily driver as well for me for quite a few years while starting life with a newborn kid. It was my driver, you know. And I've got lucky enough to drive it to Arizona, drive other states. It's been a really good car. I'd have to say really good touring style car. They ride good. They don't handle very good, but they're excellent for racing and everything. I really think the true muscle car. So yeah, another 70 through 72. And I've actually had a 71 before that I fixed up and everything. And I wish I wouldn't have done so much to it. I really wanted to make it a really nice car. And I did, but I had some problems with the paint on it and everything. And I just, you know, when you get to a point, it's like you just hit that switch and you're like, I'm done with it. I sold it, got rid of it. I regret that because they were expensive then and they're even more expensive now. So yeah, that's my number 4 pick. And the next one is going to surprise a lot of you guys. And this is going to be something like probably not going to happen because these things have went up so much in value that I cannot justify spending this kind of money on a car, any car for that matter. But it would be of the late 60s to the 80s, anywhere, is the Porsche 911 912. And you're gonna ask, well, what's so appealing about those cars? I actually got to ride in one back when I was a teenager, and it showed me, it was the first time, like, you know, I know everybody's eat up with all the horsepower and all that stuff, but it showed me that you can have a blast with a car with 250 horsepower and have something that handles, but is also kind of an elegant sports car, and that's the Porsche 911, 912. Those cars are really cool. I haven't got to drive one yet, but I just know there's, you know, and they're just cool, man. But if you've watched the market on those things, for a regular guy like myself, they have went to the stratosphere on value. And like, I've never been that much into the like high-end sports cars like your Ferraris and your Lamborghinis and stuff. They've just never really appealed to me. But not saying they're bad or anything. I do like them. It's just, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, I'm not like a dreamer. I want to dream about stuff that I can actually get to, you know, and that stuff is just way up there. So, and of course some practical kind of stuff, but yeah, a little Porsche 911, 912 of any kind. I don't care if it's the turbo one or the super fast one, as long as it runs. There's a few of them that I've seen on Instagram. That there's this one guy in California who's got a blue one, and I think it's like a 912. Don't hold me to that, but it's got a surfboard rack on, and he's taking his kid to the beach all the time. Man, every time I see that, I'm like on that like button, because that is pretty cool, you know, with the chrome wheels and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd have to say that is probably my last one, and of course I've got about 15 more I like to have, but as far as the ones that keep going through my mind and that I really would like to have, and that's somewhat obtainable, those first 5, they will happen again. The 6th one, I don't know. Unless some opportunity comes up and I get one super cheap, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But yeah. But I'd say the number one that I keep coming back to is the 70 through 72 Chevy pickup. Those just, for the most practicality for me, and they're just cool. I've always loved them. You can look at that style pickup from any angle. There's no bad angle at looking at those. And it don't matter if it's a short bed Cheyenne or an old junky 3/4 ton truck like that. You can't make them look bad unless they're in, you know, I don't know, all apart and in pieces. But you can't, there's no bad angle on that style truck. So, yeah, that's this video for this week. It's a little late in the week to be putting it out, but I've been super busy on the duck mansion that we're fixing up for my wife, for her ducks and everything. It's one of those things where I've been asked to do it for a year and a half, and I keep putting it off, and I keep putting it off because I'm selfish and I like to do my own thing. But yeah, you got to take care of them too. They're very supportive of my lifestyle. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to do a video on that. I wasn't going to because I didn't think you guys would like that very much, but I've been getting pretty creative on that. So I'm going to have it out here pretty soon, but it won't be long. We'll be back to the regular car programming soon. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.